Hello, everybody. I am Melanie. Welcome to Bluebird and Bee Tarot. I am so happy that you are here today so that we can take a look into this question of, is this connection headed toward happiness? Is this connection going to wind up with a happily ever after? So we have 3 decks to choose from today. For each deck, I'm going to point out what the deck is, the name of the deck, and I'm going to show you one card from the deck. And I chose the Sun card because, of course, that is the happiest card in the deck. And also, so I am filming this on Eclipse Day. It's probably not going to be uploaded until the next day, but today is Eclipse Day that I am filming it. So I thought there are so few things in this life that are both, a cultural phenomenon and also a metaphysical and natural phenomenon. Like, we got to go with the sun. Yes. So the first deck is the Rosebud Tarot, and this is the Sun card in the Rosebud Tarot. Okay, the next deck is the Modern Love Tarot, and this is the Sun card in the Modern Love Tarot. Okay, and then the third deck is the Lumiere Tarot. And this is the Sun deck, or the Sun card rather, in the Lumiere Tarot. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment to look at the deck, see what resonates. You can always pause the video if the time that I give you is not enough. You can go to whichever deck you're drawn to. It's completely normal to be drawn to more than one deck if you feel like that's what's happening. The timestamps are down below, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, Pile 1. If you chose the Rosebud Tarot, then you have arrived at your reading. So let's take a look. Are the energies of this connection... Whoa! So that just popped right out. It just wanted to do a little gymnastics flip out of the deck. So what we're taking a look at is, are the energies leaning toward a happy ending here, a happily ever after? Is this connection leading toward happiness? Yeah, Spirit, what is going on with Pile 1's person? Ooh, that's a nice, bright, sunny solar plexus chakra card. We've got yellow jade, tranquility, and self-sufficiency. Love a good, tranquil moment. That is certainly a synonym for happiness in my book. That's lovely. Okay, what else, Spirit? Tap me into the energy of Pile 1 and their person. Is this connection leading toward happiness? Is this connection destined to end with a happily ever after, a happy ending? Okay, so the first thing that I'm noticing is with birth and flow. So not to get too biologically graphic, but the thing that I feel like those two things have in common is that they're both very watery. Like, water is involved in both cases there. And so water in tarot is emotion. So I do feel like there is a lot of overflowing emotion, just like the power of the emotion is significant here. Yeah, and that also makes me think of, so for instance, if you have rushing rapids in a river, the flow is very strong. You can't hold that back. By the same token, when a woman who is pregnant goes into labor, you can't hold that back. In fact, many times for medical reasons, they will try to hold that off, and sometimes you simply can't. So that does tell me that this connection is rushing toward a conclusion. Like, the power behind this connection moving forward at a really powerful pace is significant. Like, you couldn't stop it if you tried. So then with yellow jade, the statements are, I allow tranquility to wash over me, and I am self-sufficient in my endeavors. So the sentence that said, I allow tranquility to wash over me, the image that came to me is how much easier it is, how much less effort there is in a journey when you are going with the flow of the energy versus trying to swim upstream. So I do feel like a major message here that Spirit is saying is that you, perhaps even your person, are making this more difficult than it needs to be by trying to control the pace, by trying to control the outcome, by being very tense over what the pace or the outcome might be. And that, it's not like you're holding off the inevitable conclusion. Like I said, this is such a bright yellow, sunny color scheme coming out here in the middle on a round deck. Like, it very much looks like the sun to me. So I do feel like this connection is headed toward happiness. But I will say, I think that you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be by not just relaxing and letting the connection unfold as it will. I think that by stressing over it, you're introducing unnecessary angst into the process and into your life. Okay, what else, Spirit? Okay, why did we get the sun? The sun card, the card that I used for the marker, actually came out. And it came out right on top of this bright yellow round chakra card. So yes, and with the 9 of fire preceding it, I feel like Spirit is like, you're approaching this with this like energy of grit and tenacity and like, I will fight for this connection no matter what it takes. And Spirit is like, whoa, pile one. Wow. Slow your roll. You're doing a lot. Like, let me handle it, because you're gonna like the outcome and you're putting yourself through a lot to get that outcome that you will eventually see was unnecessary. Okay, so with the 3 of water, the 3 of cups, this could definitely be a situation where it's like friends and both of you are in that super angsty phase of like, does this person like me back? I'm interested. Are they interested? Oh, that's such a, I think when you look back on that phase in a relationship from future perspective, you either look at it as this incredibly like exciting, tingly, alive time, or you look at it as completely miserable depending on what happens afterwards. But the one thing is, if you find it very difficult to relax and just see how it's going to unfold, it really can torture you internally a lot, wondering if this person's going to make their move, or if you are the one who is working up the courage to make the move, wondering what their response will be. Yeah, waiting for clarity. So with clarity coming out here in the final position. So like the future, the outcome position, that's going to be on the horizon. Like you're not gonna just go to your grave wondering if this could have been something more than friends. There's going to be clarity. And there was enough energy here of, you know, birth, something new starting, the sun, something incredibly happy starting, that I think that there's more than enough evidence to assume that this is going to end with a happily ever after. However, the big piece of advice that I feel like Spirit is giving here is relax, go with the flow. You're going to enjoy the journey a lot more. All right, pile one, that is what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this reading, if you resonated with it, I would love it if you would it helps the video spread. If you want to see more readings like this, and a lot of the readings I do are a lot more in-depth and involved than this. So, you know, there's even other kinds of readings to explore. But if you'd like to see more readings in this vein, I would love it if you would subscribe, even put the channel on bell notification. Again, that really helps the channel grow, and I just truly, truly appreciate it. And then if you want to comment below, I love to interact with people in the comments. And if you'd like to connect for a personal reading, instructions are in the description. But I do want to wrap this up by letting you know that I am proud of you. You matter, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, pile one, see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you chose the Modern Love Tarot, then you have arrived at your reading. So yes, let's dive in and see. Are the energies of this connection moving toward happiness? Is this connection leaning toward a happily ever after ending? Okay, Spirit, tap me into pile two and their person. Tap me into their connection, please. Ooh, creativity. Love to see it. Ooh, look at all this like blue and purple, gorgeous color scheme here. Yeah, a lot of being connected into spirit, a lot of watery energy, a lot of royal energy. Okay, pile two. So I do think that, so we have Tanzanite, third eye chakra, stillness and cosmic consciousness. So we've got, I find stillness within, and I align myself with cosmic consciousness. So I think one of the things that's holding this connection back is that you are really meant to shift into the mindset of, I would call it relaxed certainty, that this connection is for you, that this connection is being drawn into you. Yeah, I feel like you are, I feel like the fact that the future of this connection is obscured in your mind, that you are not certain of it, that it is shrouded in this foggy energy, is making you feel a bit despairing. Like you're actually experiencing rejection even before rejection has happened. Like you are pre-gaming rejection. You're like, I know I haven't literally been rejected yet, but I feel like the lack of certainty is making me think that that's probably what's going to happen. So let me go ahead and mourn the connection before it has even had a chance to die. And yeah, the fact that she has her, like the back of her hand against her forehead, this very dramatic way, like a silent movie star who's about to faint. tells me that I don't think that you are being dramatic about this, in the sense that I don't think you're showing up in the connection with your actions or your words in a dramatic way. However, I think your inner movie theater is playing highly dramatic movies. I think that your emotions are very, like volatile and dramatic. And yeah, I think that you are showing up for yourself in a very dramatic way. And I do. I think it's almost like you're starring in the soap opera of your own mind as the person who, like, you are already putting yourself in this very tearful situation. I'm noticing these raindrops and I'm seeing them as tears of like, woe is me. Why is it always me? Why do I never get chosen? This is what always happens. I should have known better than to hope. Like all of these things that are just, and I'm, first of all, don't feel like I'm making fun of you. The reason why there's a little bit of like a teasing tone in my voice is because like I recognize this in myself. If this were a reading I was watching, this would 100% be my pile 2. Like I'm there with you. I mean, I'm a Cancer. Come on now. If there's a pile that is, you're showing up internally as a drama queen, like you are torturing yourself with all kinds of tearful, highly dramatic scenarios that your brain is just playing for you in the movie theater of your mind. Like, of course, that's going to be the pile that I'm going to be drawn to. So please do not think that I'm not taking this seriously. If it sounds like my voice is full of amusement, it's only at the recognition, it's self-reflection. It's only at recognition of my own pattern here. So I also think that, putting the third eye chakra here centrally is, I think that there's a line being drawn to where, like ADHD, let me get my thoughts together. This connection, I feel like whether it's going to end in happiness or in tears is largely up to you at the current juncture, pile 2. It's largely up to what you open your mind to, because I actually feel that, so you also could be a creative. You could be someone who writes stories, writes songs, writes poetry. And so your mind is creating this whole scenario for you. And I do think that it is blocking off the genuine intuitive downloads that spirit and your spirit team are trying to send you about this connection. And that is likely why when you look into the future of this connection, it's very foggy, because there's a tug of war going on between what spirit and your spirit team are trying to show you about this connection and what your presuppositions about how things always end in tears for you. Like they're fighting against each other, and it's ending in this just like you can't form a picture of what the future is genuinely going to look like. Yeah, so let's take a look at what tarot has to say, because I honestly feel like you're at a bit of an impasse right now. Yeah, what's that Amos Lee line? Stuck between the depths of my fears and the peaks of my pride. I don't think that's exactly your situation, because I don't think that you're stuck between fear and pride. I think you're stuck between, a program you have playing that says people are never going to love you the way you deserve. People are never going to choose you. People are never going to pour out onto you the love that you pour out onto them. Like, I'm just trying to channel all of these very like watery, highly emotionally charged situations. So I think you're stuck between the depths of that and the peaks of what spirit is trying to show you are the possibilities for this connection. But the one thing that is very much in common there is stuck. stuck between. Oh, interesting. Three of Cups. Three of Cups, yeah, again, has come out in pile 1 as well. Yeah, so this could, again, be a connection that is a friendship, wondering if it's going to be more. But with the Page of Wands, yeah, I'm really drawn to the fact that this page on this card is depicted as a literal child. I mean, pages are beginners, pages are students, pagers, that's hilarious. We're not in the 90s, so not pagers, pages. Yeah, so pages are students, pages are beginners. But the fact that this page is depicted as a literal child who is in the imagination of a fairy tale ties in so beautifully with the idea that your brain is creating these scenarios. You're lost inside the fantasy in your mind of what you imagine and what you assume this connection is going to be. And so this Page of Wands tells me, why not assume that it ends in and they lived happily ever after? Why not assume that you guys end up in the pink castle? Why not assume that you are both the princess and the knight in shining armor, and that you don't have a horse, you have a unicorn? Like, why not just assume in your imagination that you have every magical thing that the universe has to offer, including happiness in this connection, and then that's what you draw into yourself? Like, why not? You are worth it. With this Nine of Pentacles, which is, you know, people often call that the most single card in the deck, but I look at it as, you know, single or partnered up. It's the most self-actualized card in the deck. So it is a card of recognizing that you are freaking worth it, pile 2. You deserve what you want. Whatever you desire desires you. Whatever you imagine is drawn into you. Why? Because you deserve it. So yeah, if what you desire is more than a friend energy with this friend, then imagine yourself in a situation where you can go on a quest and get that. Because why? Because you deserve it. And that's going to be the dividing line. That's what's going to clear this fog. That is what is going to determine what gets drawn into you. Happiness or tears. You know, I have to say, pile 2, you know, there is both fear and power in really accepting the sentence that I'm about to say to you, but it is within your power to determine the outcome of this situation by utilizing your ability to discipline your thoughts. So, yeah, are you going to be the warrior that makes it happen? Or are you going to be, you know, the mermaid who puts the back of their hand against their forehead and faints? It's entirely up to you, pile 2. It's entirely up to you. Alrighty, so that is what I have for you, pile 2. If you resonated with this reading, I would love it if you would like the video. That helps it spread, and I am incredibly appreciative of people who helped the channel that way, help it get in front of, you know, other people's screens, help get the message out. If you liked this reading and you want to see more in this vein, and on a lot of readings, I even go a lot longer and more in depth than this, then I would love it if you would subscribe and even put the channel on bell notifications so that you know every time that I post. If you wanted to comment below, I love to interact with people in the comments. If you'd like to connect for a personal reading, instructions on how to do that are in the description. But I want to wrap this up, Pile 2, by letting you know that I am proud of you. You matter, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye, Pile 2. See you soon. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the Lumiere Tarot, then you have arrived at your reading. So let's take a look. Let's see, are the energies of this connection supporting a happy outcome? Yes, are they leading toward a happily ever after moment here? Yeah, I'm noticing that this card says fracture, and I've had to kind of turn it right side up a couple times because every time I set it down, it would just sort of lean to the side a little bit. Oh, 2 came out. Actually, they came out together. Here we go. Spirit, tell me about Pile 3 and their person. Tap me into Pile 3 and their person, please. Oh, Pile 3, you're really going through it. Yeah, you are really going through it. And this connection, I do feel like has the potential to pull you out of your funk, to pull you out of, yeah, maybe even just like trauma, like you're like a deep depression or PTSD from a past trauma. This connection has the potential to heal you. It has given you a glimpse of a future. Look, you can see that. What do they have the glimpse of? They have the glimpse of this bright, shining, shooting star here that is actually fashioned to look quite a bit like the sun in this artwork. So yeah, I think this connection is the first thing that has given you a glimpse, or the first thing in a long time at least that has given you a glimpse of what happiness could really look like. But just like with this fracture card, how it seems to love to keep tilting off to the side, I think that every time you feel yourself moving steadily toward this happiness, something happens that knocks you a little off balance, that knocks you a little off kilter. So let's look at the crystals that came out. We've got selenite, crown chakra, openness and access. I am open to new ideas and experiences. Yeah, the idea that you even deserve happiness, that it is something that is for you, that exists in the world, and that you would have access to it. That could be a relatively new idea for you. I access higher dimensional ways of thinking. Okay, and then we have labradorite, third eye chakra. So both of these have quite a bit to do with being connected to the divine and what the divine has for you. Transformation and synchronicity. I am always transforming spiritually, and I understand the significance of synchronicities. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, I know it's sort of like an overly referenced concept nowadays, but I will say of all of the 3 piles, this one feels the most like a twin flame connection to me. The fact that there is, you know, significant shadow work that you're healing from, the fact that it is largely about your connection with the divine, maybe even more than your connection with that person, and the fact that it opens up your eyes and allows you a glimpse into a celestial world that you never knew was there before. Like, all of that is very twin flamey. So yeah, I feel like this is right now, I feel like this is likely also falls into one of two scenarios. It's either a really new connection, so that's why you've just had a glimpse into what it might have to offer, or this is a connection that has been going around in circles for longer than you probably even want to think about, pile 3, and you've only ever had the briefest glimpse into what it could potentially be. It's never gotten like a proper chance to get itself off the ground. And so I think that there's a lot of pain and confusion surrounding that. And I think that, yeah, if this is your pile, you likely fall into one of those two categories. But I will say this, I think that this is the pile where the outcome, like whether this is going to lead toward happiness or not, is the most uncertain. Like there's been no clear indicator either way so far at all in the oracle cards. And yet I think that this is the pile where the connection is the most transformative, the most impactful, the most consuming. So let's see what tarot has to say. Yeah, look at that 8 of Wands. This is about like rushing, like, yeah, you rush forward into this unknown celestial world before, like, that's the only reason. You would be so scared if you stopped to think about stepping into the world that this connection has given you that glimpse into. The only way you can really enter it is by rushing in, because otherwise, yeah, if you stopped to think about it, you would probably think better of it. Yeah, ton of Wands energy here. Yeah, the Queen of Wands, the most magical queen in the deck, the sexiest queen in the deck. Like, in many ways, the most connected queen in the deck. I don't mean to the Mafia, I mean to the Celestial. Yeah, so I think that the majority of the people who chose this pile are experienced like a gigantic earthquake, a gigantic unsettling earthquake that thrust them into this spiritual awakening right at the beginning of this connection. And I think it's been a long journey of just trying to find your feet since then, trying to find some semblance of stability, trying to recreate some sort of new normal that you can hang on to. Yeah, I would say I'm not discounting the idea that there is anybody watching this pile that you're at the very beginning of this connection, like early days. But I think for the majority of the people, you are struggling to find any kind of just firm footing in your path forward, whether it be with this person or on your own. Like, what you really want is stability. What you really, really want is union, of course, with this person and happiness. But I think you have a lot of days where you're like, yeah, I would actually just settle for some stability. That would be great. Thanks. Yeah, spiritual awakenings are no joke, pile 3. Like, everybody thinks they want one until they're in the middle of one, because what you think it's going to be like is just like, you know, sitting in the lotus position and having like this little gentle half smile on your face as, you know, bright white light starts to emanate from your chakras. And what it actually is like your whole freaking life falling apart around you and you looking around and going, I don't even know what the world is anymore. What is life? And, yeah, it's not pretty. It's not fun. It's worth it. Now, is it worth it? Yeah, it's not all bad either. It takes you to a place that is like beyond imagining of how powerful you are on the other side and how amazing it is on the other side. But the transition is not fun. So I feel like probably the majority of you are in the middle of this transition. Because I can also feel like the energy that I feel when I reach out to your side of things, pile 3, is just like, I feel like you're exhausted. That's one thing. I feel like you're so beaten down. But I feel like there is a spark of hope in you that you're just like, yeah, let me just watch this one reading. Maybe they'll say something that gives me some hope that this connection is going to come around again. And I mean, I wish I could honestly be more definitive to you, pile 3, but I feel like this is a connection that is very much in flux right now. And a lot of it has to do with your spiritual ascension and your person's spiritual ascension. And I wish that I could just tell you like, oh yeah, this is destined. This is meant to be. Like, just hold on. Just hold on, pile 3. It's on its way. I want to be able to tell you that. And I feel like for a lot of you, that is absolutely the case. But it's not honestly something that's coming through strongly in the cards. Like, the cards are talking about the spiritual aspect of this. So that would be my number one conclusion and piece of advice, pile 3, is if you want to get to the other side of this, the side where like a pure, uncomplicated happiness and joy is possible between you and your person in union, then focus on your spiritual work, because it's never going to happen. That's the one thing I know for sure, is it's not going to happen when you're both in this state of flux. So just, you know, like the saying says, if you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Like, just don't get, no matter how tired you are, no matter how beaten down you are, just always remember the only way out is through. One foot in front of the other. Just get to the other side of this spiritual awakening and this spiritual ascension, which is not to say that there's ever like completely on the other side of any kind of growth or any kind of ascension. We're always growing in one way or another. But I mean, there are big sections that can be identified as like, this is a hugely impactful period of spiritual ascension or spiritual growth. So yeah, get over this hurdle, pile 3, and then you'll have a much better idea of what the future holds for you and your person. Okay, so that is what I have for you, pile 3. If it resonated, I would love it if you would like this video. It helps it to spread, helps the channel to grow, and I appreciate it more than I could ever really express to you. If you want to hear more readings like this, and in a lot of them I actually go even more in depth, then if you would subscribe or even put the channel on bell notification, then you will know when I post a new reading. And again, I appreciate that more than I could ever explain to you, and it really helps the channel grow. If you wanted to comment below about this reading, I love to interact with people in the comments. And if you would like to connect with me for a personal reading, instructions on how to do that are in the description box below. But I want to wrap up by telling you that I am proud of you. I really am so proud of you, pile 3. Genuinely, this is not an easy path you're walking, and you are crushing it, and I am proud of you. So I am proud of you. You matter. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Okay, bye.